Yeah, satellite imagery are a great data source to detect deforestation. Also, with regards to the cutoff date back to 2020, but besides of the deforestation, also the traceability aspects is one major challenge for companies out there. Could you give us some insights maybe into this perspective, into the traceability challenge?
Yeah, so I think the main challenge is having to trace such a massive amount of produce and commodities from different areas at different points across the supply chain. What source intelligence do is aid that traceability by providing software which does a lot of that work automatically. So we're able to stay on top of various plots of land for obtaining coordinates. And we can do those checks using various satellite imagery platforms. Throughout the process and throughout the supply chain, our software can be used to collect information, and we can do automatic assessments on that information, not only for the sake of traceability, but also to assess legality and elements of sustainability.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that automation is one of the key aspects that software should provide customers, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can't really handle all the different documents, all the different suppliers from different regions. Maybe your company deals with different commodities, then it gets more complex. Maybe you can give us some information on this aspect, where exactly maybe also source intelligence software supports in terms of automation.
Yeah, so we're able to gather various information up and down the supply chain. That includes geo coordinates, as I mentioned, but also information on certification and compliance with domestic legislation. Again, another complexity is that a lot of these commodities are coming from various places across the world, and what defines legal compliance is therefore different. So we're able to make comparisons against legislation from country to country, and it's that information which will be crucial to providing due diligence statements.
Yep. Do you think there are any unforeseen impacts due to the new EU deforestation regulation? Do you think there are some workarounds because they don't want to share their geo information, they don't want to do the deforestation monitoring because maybe they are affected, and this is a reason why they won't ship any longer products to the European market?
Yeah, I think the regulation could be quite daunting to various traders within the EU market because, like I said, the scale has increased massively. I've noticed a lot of confusion between certain customers who aren't necessarily sure which commodities are going to be covered. For example, you have, I don't know, a supermarket with products containing all of those commodities. For example, palm oil is in absolutely everything, and without proper guidance, the regulation may be extremely daunting because all of a sudden you're looking at your entire stock thinking nothing is compliant without a due diligence statement. But with a bit of guidance, especially if you refer to Annex 1 of the directive, you can tell exactly what is covered, and some commodities, for example, aren't as daunting. I know that chocolate contains cocoa and most chocolate products are covered, but for example with soy or palm oil, it's just the raw product, and that has implications on manufacturing, but when it comes to derived products, there is some inconsistency, and that again may cause confusion.
Yeah, true. And a lot of companies are still waiting for some guidance from the European Commission to specific aspects regarding the mentioned products in the annex, regarding agroforestry. But guidance is definitely required by the Commission from a lot of different perspectives. If you had to give an advice to affected companies, what would be this advice?
Good question. I would say consider using software to deal with the volume of checks which might be required as a result of the regulation. Be sure to check Annex 1 of the directive to understand exactly what is in scope and what isn't. and also the use of standards and certification may help to achieve compliance with the EUDR, and that includes FSC timber, which has been around for ages and helps compliance with the EUDR in the past, but also the RSPO, Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, soy and fair trade, for example.